Second point, as I mentioned, is you want to develop the consulting toolkit, which is the buzzword that you hear a lot, so they know that you can do the job, right? You develop the skills that they expect their interns to develop over the course of the summer, so in a way you're not really behind, right? You've developed these skills on your own through your existing internship, and now you're on the same equal footing as these consulting interns, if you will. So in the middle part of the slide, you see some of the skills that these firms expect their interns to develop over the course of a summer. So I'll run through these briefly. PowerPoint skills, Excel, some modeling skills, qualitative and quantitative research, as we mentioned before, analytical problem solving, written communication, that's writing memos, those types of things, verbal communication, presenting your information to your team, to the firm, team skills and leadership, we've touched on that. You're going to develop expertise in a wide variety of industries depending on what types of projects you're working on, public speaking, presentation skills, and those are the sort of general skills you might develop as an intern. So you want to make sure these specific skills are coming across in your candidacy. And I've given you a few call-out boxes on ways that I think you can do that. And there's obviously a lot of different ways. Brainstorm on your own, schedule some time with me on how you might else be able to do that. So how can you develop your analytical problem solving skills? Well, you want to make sure that your problem solving methodology in general is very hypothesis driven, right? So during your internship, you're going to be encountering problems. That's just a given. And you want to make sure you're always thinking with the solution in mind. So that's a way you want to think about solving the actual problem in the moment, and that's also the way you want to think about presenting that information when you're talking about it 3 months down the road to a consultant in an interview. Verbal communication skills, you want to present your work often, even if you don't have that opportunity in the internship itself. You want to go to your manager and say, hey, can I present this information? Can I present this model to you that I just worked on, to get used to that type of work? Speaking of modeling, Excel, PowerPoint, you want to make sure you're creating models and spreadsheets and PowerPoints on your own, even if your work doesn't specifically require that, just so you get used to it, you know the functionality, and you have those skills. That's actually a really important part of the day-to-day job of a consultant. Written communication, write reports, even if they're not needed, again. And then let's say the final point might be taking an accounting course or reading an accounting book to kind of get that basic level of accounting that's really critical to any sort of consulting role. And as you can see, a lot of these things don't necessarily fit in exactly with your existing internship. You might not get them, but you might. But the main point is that if you're not getting them, you definitely need to do them on the side, right? That's your prerogative to kind of do these extra things on the side, develop these skills on your own through external ways in order to better prepare yourself for recruiting. So that's the skill set. Next, I want to talk about a variety of sort of a hodgepodge of supplemental activities you can do to increase your candidate attractiveness during the summer. So this is as sort of what we talked about on the previous slide in terms of not your actual internship, whatever that may be, but things you're going to do on the weekends and after work, etc., etc. So here are 5 big buckets that I think can help lead you to a consulting full-time offer or internship if you're a sophomore, and I'm going to run through these briefly.